Hello everybody, welcome back. This is another concert review. I know I've done a bunch and I know people don't really like them that much in terms of content. I'm very appreciative of the comments that I get on my videos for concert reviews, but they're not the meat and potatoes. But I enjoy talking about shows that I went to, and hopefully it gets people into different music that you might not listen to. So yesterday on May the 9th in Washington, D.C. at the 930 Club, my wife and I, as well as my brother-in-law and a few friends, ventured out to the 930 Club to see Brian and Michael D'Addario, the Lemon Twigs, perform. And it was a great show. We have seen them once before, 2 years ago. It was after the release of this record right here, A Dream Is All We Know, which is one of my favorite records. It's becoming one of my favorite records ever. The opening song on here is a fantastic power pop gem called My Golden Years. Very special song to me and to my wife, and just a very fun jangle pop record that is full of hooks, full of melodies, full of just sugary sweet pop harmonies, all the stuff that you want from music. Obviously, the brothers are very much entrenched in the 60s and 70s world of style. They're big Beach Boys fans, Beatles, Big Star, Raspberries, Todd Rundgren. They're in that camp, and it comes through in their music. Well, they just released a new record called Look For Your Mind. It was released on May the 8th, Friday. So saw the concert the day after it was released, and I'm still waiting for my copy. I've pre-ordered it. I haven't yet received it. I think it's getting here tomorrow. We shall see. I'm probably going to do a review on that as well, so stay tuned for that. But again, I would love to show it for this video because that's the record that they were supporting. The closest thing I have is the single that came out before the record. This has the songs I've Got a Broken Heart, which makes an appearance on the record, and then the B-side is a song called Friday, I'm Gonna Love You. And fantastic tunes, both of which were played at the show, as well as songs predominantly from their last three records. That would be their albums, Everything Harmony, A Dream Is All We Know, as well as Look For Your Mind. They did do one track from Brian D'Addario's solo record, which came out last year. They did the song The One, which is on their third record. But other than that, the first two records were not mentioned or talked about at all. They didn't do any covers, which I was surprised. They often will do a cover of a Bird song, a Beach Boys song. They stuck all to their originals, which is great that their catalog is getting built and they're able to do that. Opener was a group called the Josephine Connection. It was fantastic. A four-piece band that had been produced by the D'Addario brothers. Very tight-knit group of musicians. Kind of falls a little bit more into the glam rock world, but they also have those power pop melodies. So you can very much see how the Lemon Twigs would be associated with them. Also a New York-based band. The Lemon Twigs are out of Long Island, New York. And so very cool to have the whole New York connection. But it was fantastic. They opened the show with the song Look For Your Mind. They did the song I've Got a Broken Heart. They did, again, stuff from Everything Harmony. I think they probably did about at least half of the new record. Again, that's the single. But yeah, they did the songs My Golden Years from here. They did the song Church Bells. A Dream Is All I Know. If You and I Are Not Wise. Rock On Over and Over. Rock On Over and Over. Just fantastic stuff. They did the song Ghost Run Free from the album Everything Harmony. But again, if you don't know the Twigs, you need to go see them. When they perform live, they are doing the whole rock and roll thing. They're jumping up in the air with their Rickenbacker guitars, their Gibson guitars, their just again the full tight-knit unit kind of rock and roll show that you were really hoping for when you go see a show. And they're still playing in places that are small enough where it feels intimate, but they're also giving off as much energy as they would if they were performing for 40 or 50,000 people. And I think that's just fantastic. And I think that we're going to be getting a lot more music from them. They're both very prolific. This is their 6th album under their name. But again, Brian has released a solo record. They've produced a bunch of other musicians, including the group Tchotchke, which is Brian's girlfriend's band. I've talked about them on this channel before. They've been on tribute albums for the Raspberries. They did a tribute album for their dad, Ronnie Diodario, who is a power pop musician, and that was put out for Black Friday Record Store Day. Fantastic record. It's essentially a Lemon Twigs record with a bunch of different guest stars on there. And again, I've talked about that before on this channel as well. I'm a big proponent of the Lemon Twigs. I think they're just one of the best things going. Again, if you are out there and you're wanting new music, or if you're out there and you brush off anything after 1975, you shouldn't, because the Lemon Twigs are as good as anybody that came out of the Mersey Beat groups of the 60s. They're as good or better than groups like the Searchers, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Herman's Hermits, all the stuff that you probably wanted to listen to, that you would still listen to. Listen to the Lemon Twigs. They are that old school sound. They're not doing anything too crazy that's going to make you wish you weren't listening to them. And again, they have those tight harmonies, those brotherly harmonies like the Beach Boys. Again, like the harmonies like the Beatles or the Byrds, the Raspberries. Some of the songs off of the new record sound like Eric Carmen singing. They sound like Eric Carmen Raspberries tunes, and there's no way around it. It sounds like something from the late 60s, early 70s. Some of the stuff on the new record, and I'll get into this on the review, some of the stuff sounds like, early Beatles. Some of it sounds like, Revolver. Some of it sounds like Big Star. Some of it, has glam, but it's all thrown into that Lemon Twigs style. And again, I would be very hard pressed to, if you like that kind of music, the influences, you're going to like them. And again, I know people are always going to say, well, if I could just listen to the originals. Yes, you could, but you're doing yourself a disservice. You're really doing yourself a disservice. So I highly recommend the Lemon Twigs. Start with this record, A Dream Is All We Know. It's so far it's my favorite of the group. Again, the new one is so brand new. I need time to listen to it. I've listened to it about 2.5 times. And we need a few more listens, obviously, but I love it. I'll just say that right now. I love it. And I think you're going to love this band. I think if you see that they're coming near you, just listen to them, go to the show. They're just fantastic. Again, you won't be disappointed if you like any of that stuff I talked about. But yeah, fantastic time. Great crowd. Everybody there was just having a great time. People were banging their heads. People were there wearing Beach Boy shirts, and they also had the Lemon Twig shirts. And it was a much more diverse crowd than the first time we saw them 2 years ago. Last time it was a much younger crowd. Now I think they've really taken off, and people, the boomer generation has realized, oh, this is why we like music. So we can go see these young guys play this music that we've been missing for so long, or that, these older artists are trying to keep into the public, consciousness. The Lemon Twigs are doing their part in keeping the stuff alive, but also giving us a great body of work already. Again, 6 records, not counting the album they did for their dad, not counting the stuff that they're producing or their one-off singles. There's just so much music. The solo record by Brian, it's all just, it's all fantastic. So check them out. It was a fantastic show, a 10 out of 10 show. I cannot recommend them enough. So that does it for me, everybody. In the meantime, y'all be good, take care, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.